Call the meeting to order and welcome everyone to the October 6, 2025 City of Kalispell Council meeting. Can I have a roll call, please?
Councilor Gabrielle, Councilor Graham, Councilor Dowd,
Here.
Councilor Dahlman, here. Councilor Fisher, here. Councilor Hunter,
Here.
Councilor Nunnally,
Here.
Councilor Carlson, here. Mayor Johnson.
Here. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Ms. Dahlman, can you lead us?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our agenda in front of us, look to council for approval. Mr. Nunnally.
Make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second, thank you, Ms. Carlson. All in favor of the motion signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Consent agenda has 5 items this evening. The first item are the council minutes from the September 2nd, September 8th, and September 15 meetings. The second item is bid award for Lift Station 36 upgrade project. This item considers awarding this project to Stroud's Contracting in the amount of $3,099,048. Third item is approved Flathead Valley Hockey Association use agreement. Fourth item is agreement amendment for emerging contaminant professional services for water source replacement and or treatment alternatives. And the fifth item is confirmation of 9 firefighter medics, Sidney Becker, John Hagnes, Seeger Higgins, Mitch Klein, Jessica Lyles, Jeremy Odio, Vinnie Thompson, Ian Whalen, and Michael Martinez as firefighters as they've completed their 1-year probationary employment period. Is there any public comments on any of the 5 items on the consent agenda? See none, look to council for approval. For a motion? Mr. Nunnally?
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Mr. Fisher, was that a second? Mr. Hunter, that was a second?
Yep.
Okay, all in favor of the motion signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Fire Chief Hagan.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Thank you for the opportunity to join you this evening for the confirmation of 9 Kalispell firefighters. These firefighters began their service with the city on September 30th, 2024, and have now completed their 1-year probationary period. This time includes an 18-week initial training academy run by our in-house training staff, Captains Jeremy Grady and Joe Hansen, who are in attendance with us this evening. Also, we have retired Assistant Chief Jessica Kinzer in the audience, and retired Chief Dan Pierce also had quite a bit to do with these members' success to this point. Subsequently, these members have completed the balance of their probationary year, refining initial skills they learned in drill school and gaining new ones while responding to emergencies in our community and engaging in all the routine activities of the department. At this point, these firefighters have attained Firefighter 1 and 2 certifications and hazardous materials operations, and numerous other job-related trainings and requirements, all pointed at operational readiness. Thank you for your investment in these members and their ongoing growth and development. As we move ahead with implementing the public safety levy, these members will play a large role in achieving the goals set forth in the levy and delivering great outcomes for our community. The firefighters joining me this evening are, to my left, Mitch Klein, who is also a military veteran and a sometimes cage fighter. Sidney Becker, a second-generation firefighter who explored other areas of medicine before deciding on firefighting and emergency medical service and becoming an advanced life support paramedic. Ian Whalen, also a current military reservist and enthusiastic paramedic student. John Hagnes, we share a history in being from Minnesota, don't hold that against us, and a love of the mountains and winter sports. John is also an expert in avalanche forecasting, among other things. Jessica Lyles. Jessica is a former collegiate athlete, wildland firefighter, and dog lover. Vinnie Thompson, just completing his ALS paramedic credential, great team member and contributor to our department. And Jeremy Odio. Jeremy is a new dad for the 4th time and joined us with previous experience firefighting in the valley. Absent this evening is Michael Martinez, also a paramedic, wasn't able to join us, but we'd like him included in the 9, please. And last but not least is firefighter Seeger Higgins. He also tried other things, other careers before landing here at the city of Kalispell. He has a love of the outdoors, always looking for a new challenge, and a willing and enthusiastic firefighter. Not to mention he was in the paper on Sunday. Mayor, it is my recommendation that these members be confirmed as firefighters with the city of Kalispell. Thank you.
Oh, this is gonna take as long as if all these people were giving public comment. Oh, you've got names on them.
No, disregard the names.
Yeah, oh,
We'll switch later.
We'll switch. Make me read first. If they said, I'll make some easy call. He's learned right to laugh at the mayor.
Just cracks me up.
Yeah.
I want you to understand, you guys, all of you, men and women, are part of a team. Part of a great fire department. And I want you to work well, trust your brothers and sisters, trust your training, trust your chief. But most important, I want you to go home at the end of every shift back to your families. If there's one back there that needs dad or mom home. And who is it that had 4 children? You're catching up to me. Keep going. So, congratulations once again. Please say a word. Thanks, Chief.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mitch Klein, brand new firefighter for Kalispell. I was just volunteered to speak for the class, so if you guys don't mind. I think the number one thing I'd just like to say, and these guys have all heard me say it 1,000 times, but we're the luckiest people. This is the best job in the world. And it's the best job because of the people we get to work with, and also just being rewarding, you know, getting to serve a community, having a purpose. And yeah, it's the greatest thing. It's the greatest community, greatest fire department, and we're all just happy to be a part of it for the next 20 years.
All right.
19 now. 19 years.
If you want to stand up for a picture, we'd like to have all of you stand up in front so we can get a picture of the Kalispell background. Get out of the way. We can all please stand and give them a round of applause for what they've done.
Alrighty. There we go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, right.
Have an ice cream.
Pretty cool. That's huge.
The baby was happy for a while. What happened?
Okay, we have no committee reports this evening, so I'm going to open the meeting for public comment. Any individual wishing to address the council on items not on the agenda or has to step forward, state your name and give comments to the council at this time. Seeing no comments. Going to move on to the first action item this evening, which is ordinance 1946. This is the first reading for the eve encroachment zoning text amendment. This ordinance considers a zoning text amendment to allow residential eaves to extend up to 2 feet into setback areas. Mr. Nygren, presentation.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor and Council. I'm going to wear my planning hat tonight. PJ is at the planning conference in Billings, so we'll go ahead and get started here. Hayden Homes has submitted a petition for a zoning text amendment related to how setbacks are applied to structures and eaves. Current zoning regulations under the zoning code define a setback as a horizontal distance required by any structure, i.e. the furthest extension of the structure, typically eave line or deck and or a lot line. This amendment would allow eaves to extend within the setback up to 2 feet in the R1, R2, R3, R4, and R5 zones. Traditionally, City of Kalispell has used a setback definition which creates a bright line where nothing from the structure can extend beyond that. There are some benefits to that approach that is relatively simple to understand and administer. The 5-foot side setback through most of the zoning district also aligns well with the building code, which begins to require fire protection measures once eaves are closer than 5 feet from the property line. However, it is also very common for most municipalities and local jurisdictions across the nation to allow for some sort of encroachment into the setback. Eaves are the most common, but sometimes include bay windows, decks, or other structures. Often in those situations, particularly with bay windows, the calculation of allowable encroachment can get rather complex. In many jurisdictions, the end result isn't different, and it sometimes is actually more restrictive than the key approach taken by Kalispell. However, the flexibility allowed with an even encroachment can be beneficial both in terms of floor area and architectural appearance of a home, especially as lots get smaller. It allows for the use of the property more efficiently. So with that, like I said, in general, what's happening is the residential zones say they require a 5-foot side yard setback. This would allow the main wall of the house would still be at 5 feet, but would allow the eave to encroach up to 2 feet. And the 2 feet would be the max because that is per building code. The building code allows for up to 2 feet encroachment. But the eave would then have to have a protection, a fire protection underneath it. So it would eliminate, or it wouldn't eliminate, but it would mitigate any potential fire hazard that would come along with that as buildings get closer together. Right here, I just have the proposed amendment for you. It's just basically additions and strikeouts to the zoning code, which would allow the eve encroachment in the R1 zones. It adds a supplemental regulation that allows for it and then further defines the setback that would allow for that as well. So pretty straightforward, it's pretty straightforward zoning text amendment. Like I said, as lots get smaller, it makes a lot of sense. There really isn't any fire hazards associated with it, and is something pretty common across the nation. So the Planning Commission did adopt staff report KZTA 2501 as findings in fact and forwarded a recommendation to the Kalispell City Council that the proposed zoning text amendment be adopted as presented, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for staff? The only question I have, this is basically, you would forego any ventilation, eave venting then, because it'd have to be fire protected in that 2-foot encroachment.
Right, that's correct. Yep.
Any questions?
Do we get a lot of requests for this?
We have
Okay.
in the past. It's, we haven't brought it up as staff, but
Sure.
we did have a developer in this instance that's bought a number of lots within a development. The house that they're actually looking at, it actually gets, the more you can look through it, it actually makes even more sense when you start to talk about the length of beams and wood and things like that. They're actually, the way it lines up, it's, even though a house may end up being slightly bigger, it's less waste. So there's a lot of reasons to do it, especially when you incorporate the protections of the eaves. That would be the main kind of cause of concern with the proximity of buildings to
Sure.
each other. So.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Any public comment on ordinance 1946?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Peter Hagan. I represent Hayden Homes. We're the applicant for the zone text change. We appreciate your consideration of our request tonight. I'm here to briefly speak in favor of the zone text change to exempt eaves from the residential setbacks. It might seem like a minor technical adjustment, but it brings meaningful benefits to the Kalispell community and not just us as home builders. First, the update aligns with it updates the local code with the international building and fire codes and with the standards used in many of the surrounding communities. The consistency helps streamline the development process, making it more predictable for everyone. The IBC specifically exempts open steps, terraces, cornices, and other ornamental features projecting from the walls or the building or structure. More importantly, this change will support better home design without increasing lot sizes. It allows for more architectural variety, reduces the visual impact of garages, and it contributes to more attractive and livable neighborhoods. Design flexibility also means homes can be more space efficient without being more expensive. For example, allowing eaves into the setbacks can create an additional 80 to 140 square feet of usable interior space. That might be a home office, an extra bedroom, or just more space for a growing family within the same lot footprint. This small adjustment also supports affordability. As we've all seen in the recent years, lots have gotten smaller and prices have gone up. When builders can design smarter within the existing lots, those efficiencies often translate into savings that benefit homebuyers and ease pressure on land supply. In short, it's not just a builder benefit, it's a thoughtful, low-impact change that promotes good design, housing affordability, and long-term community quality. Thank you again, I appreciate your consideration.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening. My name is Mark Friedline with the Flathead Building Association. We also wanted to support this proposed amendment. With the increased growth to the valley and some of the, House Bill 382, some of the proposed changes that we would need to do with the land use plan, this really makes sense for our community. It's really gonna do a lot to focus on that consistency for those builders that build not only in our community, but other communities across the state. It's going to really focus on flexibility in design, allowing some of our builders to take concepts that they're doing and maximize use. And it's really going to focus on allowing us that affordability piece that is really needed in our community, allowing us to maximize those the amount of space we can build as the lots get smaller and smaller. And so we are definitely in support of this amendment and really appreciate you taking this step, hopefully to helping us here in this community.
Thank you, sir. Any other public comment? Okay, I'll look to council for a motion. Mr. Hunter?
Yeah, thank you, Your Honor. Let me just pull it up here. Move that we adopt ordinance number 1946, an ordinance amending the Kalispell zoning ordinance, ordinance number 1677, by amending sections 25.04, 25, or 27.04, 27.05, 27.06, 27.07, and 27.08. Residential setback eaves, adding section 27.20.093, setback encroachment for eaves, and amending definition section 27.37.010.177. Setback to amend how setbacks are applied to a structure's eaves in residential zones and declaring an effective date.
Second.
Second. Thank you, Mr. Nunley. Discussion? Mr. Hunter?
Yeah, thank you, Your Honor. Yeah, there's been some discussion recently about, some of the burdens of regulation on kind of getting some of our housing built, and we'll be having future discussions about that, I think. And some of those may be challenges, others not, but this one seems like a fairly easy one, low risk, and makes sense to add flexibility to for some of our builders to be more creative, make things a little more affordable, and just have a little more variety in the housing. So makes sense to me.
Other discussion? Real quick, I'm in support of it. I knew that when I walked into a community to build a house and I wasn't worried about setbacks to the eave, it made the design a lot easier and a lot more creative, that's for sure, to utilize the space. Because otherwise what you essentially do is you take 2 feet out of each side of the lot. And to maximize the building envelope, I think this is a nice amendment that we have to our design standards. So I'm 100% in favor. Have a roll call vote.
Counselor Dowd?
Aye.
Counselor Dahlman?
Aye.
Counselor Fisher?
Aye.
Counselor Hunter?
Aye.
Counselor Nunley?
Aye.
Counselor Carlson?
Aye.
Mayor Johnson?
Aye, motion carries. Next item, Resolution 6294, Police and Fire Impact Fee Reports and Fees. This resolution considers adopting these reports and fees, including removal of the administration fee and the addition of a price index annual increase per Senate Bill 133. Mr. Nygren?
Yeah, Mayor and Council, back on July 7th, the City Council considered Resolution 6266, which would adopted the police and fire impact fee reports and associated fee schedule. At that time, the resolution failed due to the increased costs associated with the impact fees on housing and development. This is really just a little bit of cleanup. This proposal before you does not increase fees. It actually adopts the fee that the council had considered at that time. But it also allows, it adopts the actual report itself that had been prepared, so that's part of the record. State law does require that the local government entity approve a report. Our report would have been over 10 years old, so it just adopts the reports with the fee schedule that the council had talked about at that time. It also removes the administration fee and does provide for a little bit of an inflation component on these impact fees as well. Also, it is important that council adopt this as well, because as was mentioned before, Senate Bill 382, it will be staff's recommendation in the coming months that impact fees are an option, a housing strategy as well within that. So this kind of formally reduces impact fees, which could be a stance that the city could take in the future as far as a housing strategy. So this just formalizes that we're adopting an updated impact fee report, formalizes the fees going back to the fees that were already in place. And then, like I said, also will give the council the ability in the future to use this as a potential housing strategy. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for staff? Any public comment on Resolution 6294? Look to council for a motion. Mr. Dowd?
Thank you, Your Honor. I move resolution number 6294, a resolution amending resolution numbers 5744 and 5745 to accept and adopt the September 2025 police and fire impact fee reports as findings of fact, and to adjust the police and fire impact fee schedules pursuant to council approval.
Second, thank you, Mr. Fisher. Discussion? Mr. Dowd?
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll speak to my motion. So I did verify that this is not an increase in the impact fees for fire and police. We actually failed to adopt an increase the last time we talked about this. This just lets the report go in as findings of fact, and also allows us to adhere to Senate Bill 133, which requires the removal of fees from those impact fees.
Mr. Hunter?
Yeah, thank you, Your Honor. I understand that we, need a report and removal of the administrative fees, but I supported raising the impact fees as per the recommendation. I do believe that when there's an assessment of the impact of developments, that the developments should pay that fee as assessed, as determined. And I've been talking to a lot of residents recently about this issue comes up, and I find it's pretty wide support for having folks pay the impact fees that's assessed. So I will not be supporting this simply because it does not raise the impact fees like what we had recommended to us. Thank you.
Other discussion? Okay, Mr. Dowd, I'll give you a bite, and then I'll give Mr. Hunter a bite if I have to. But
That's okay.
it.
I just wanted to throw out there that I was on the Impact Fee Advisory Committee the first year I was here, and the report actually calculates what the maximum amount that we can allow for impact fees. It doesn't really give us a recommended level of where we should be at with impact fees. That's totally up to the council. So I just wanted to throw that out there for public knowledge as well.
I think the only thing I'm gonna do, this is kind of a dot the I, cross the T type resolution. The other side, though, is developers don't pay the impact fees. The end consumer pays the impact fee. So when we pull a building permit, that's when the impact fee is assessed. So if you buy a lot and you're building your own home, it isn't the developer of that lot that pays the impact fee. It's whoever's building that house. So if we want to add to the cost of housing, and I'm very, very clear about this in the past, this is one more of those costs. So everything we try to do to reduce the cost of housing, now we want to add a cost called an impact fee. And the use of the impact fees are very limited in scope as to what they can be used for. So I've looked at impact fees for years. I've paid them myself over the time, and paid them myself as bought a house, built a house. It just adds to the cost of a house. It's just like anything else. And it's just one more pound of flesh that, and this is why when the state when they looked at 382, they looked at what are the exceptions. And I want to say, how many years ago was it when we cut the impact fees? 6, you were first just on council.
Just got on, yep.
You know, it was one of those things that, dare I say, we trying to lead, trying to find solutions. And I find it interesting the state's catching up with us, but I also want to just reiterate, look back to simple economics, look to the cost of product. Minute government adds fees, it adds to the cost of whatever that end use product is. And if we want to increase the cost of, I'm all for it. I would love to see impact fees double because right now I own 2 houses in Kalispell. I need to sell another one. And if we're going to increase impact fees, I'll take the one off the market and wait. Because I will watch that house go up in value exponentially. Have a roll call vote.
Counselor Dowd?
Aye.
Counselor Dahlman?
Aye.
Counselor Fisher?
Aye.
Counselor Hunter?
No.
Counselor Nunley?
Aye.
Counselor Carlson?
Aye.
Mayor Johnson?
Aye, motion carries. Third item is appointment to the Tourism Business Improvement District. It's my recommendation. Point, I had it written down on my copy here. Hold on one second. Oh, done. Nathan Black from Hilton Garden Inn. It's my recommendation.
I move to approve your nomination of Nathan to the TIBD.
Second. Can I have a voice vote? All in favor signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. City manager report.
Yeah, Mayor and Council, a couple of months ago, the hazard mitigation plan was before the city council, and that was postponed at that time for a future work session. And that work session will be next Monday. Do have Juanita with the county that'll be available to go over it. Not a lot of changes, or there were a couple tweaks to the plan based off of some of the conversations we had here. But we'll just have that on the agenda, could go through it. It was quite lengthy, answer any questions, and then try and have that on a future agenda. Also, a little update, you may recall the city received a Safe Streets for All demonstration grant for East Oregon. We are continuing to work with Federal Highways on that. There's been a lot of changes to the program and what we requested in a grant. So was looking at including that on the work session next week as well, but we do have a couple clarifications we need from them prior to that. So here in the coming weeks, also look at having a work session on that, that potential grant for the council to consider. There has not been a grant agreement signed on that. At this point in time, we were awarded the grant, but we're working through the grant agreement. And like I said, there's been some changes on that. When that does come up for a work session, you know, unless the council feels otherwise, I was intending also to notify adjoining property owners for that project so they could be part of that discussion. The project would potentially be quite extensive, and we've actually got some feedbacks, both positive and negative, regarding the proposed project, so I feel like it'd be good to have them in the room as we talk about it. Let's see. Other than that, and some other kind of house cleaning, I wouldn't kind of normally things come up through the planning commission up to city council, but just so the council's aware, we are looking at doing some housekeeping in regards to CUPs and CUP enforcement. looking at putting some text amendments together in that regard. Don't have anything drafted at this point, but looking to get some language together that would really clarify the process for CUPs and how enforcement on one would work. It would be language similar to other cities in Montana. That really just stems from some of the case this last fall. So other than that, happy to answer any questions, and that's all I got.
Okay. Anything from council? I'm just gonna start here and come this way again.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Your Honor. I've had a lot of discussions here recently with people near the downtown area. And if you remember back to our work session when we talked about cruising up and down Main Street, one of the things that I opposed any of the new ordinances because the things that people were complaining about were already illegal items. And now that we have the emergency levy in place and we have more officers available, I would like to, if the city manager approves of this, I would like to have him add to his report, giving us tickets that were given out on Main Street, First Avenue East, First Avenue West from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. Friday evenings in the core area. Just so we can kind of track to see if we're addressing this problem, and if not, then we can think of other things as a council to do to address it. But without the rule of law, your liberties and freedoms cannot be upheld, and we need to make sure that we're listening to the neighbors as well, and that we're enforcing these things. So I want to make sure that we're doing that, and I think statistics is the first way to attack this. So if that's amenable to the city manager, acting city manager, I would love to have that added to the report so that we can review it. I think other council members and the public would enjoy that.
We could do that. We could probably get an update. Do you have any stats at your day?
I don't want to put anybody on the spot, so if they don't have it prepared now, we could just wait for the next week's report.
We can wait for the next.
Yeah, I
meeting,
can tell you
please.
it's easy to pull the information. And I'll
Okay,
be able to
thank you.
provide it.
Yeah, that's all I had, Your Honor.
That's all you had. Mr. Fisher? Mr. Hunter?
Yeah, thank you, Your Honor. A few weeks ago, we talked about a letter that came from the Builders Association, and I had some concerns about kind of political timing of it. I did have a chance to meet with the Builders Association, Mark, and felt confident that that was not the intention, and it was well-intended letter, and just kind of bad timing. So I want to make sure that clear, so I'm not,
We
harming
get
anybody's
jaded. We get jaded up here.
We get jaded sometimes. Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes politics seems to be motive behind things when they're not. So,
Yeah. And I would be happy to entertain any of those discussions anytime. We've tried to get the builders, different people here at times, and it's been crickets. So would love to have them engage, especially when we're looking at standards, et cetera. Great time to show up. But when we don't get the participation back, it's really kind of frustrating from our perspective. So that open dialogue is critical. And we've got to remember, this is a representative government. And don't be afraid to come tell us that we screwed something up. So, Ms. Dahlman? No? Mr. Nunley?
Nothing.
Ms. Carlson? And I'm already past my time limit. I'm gonna adjourn the meeting.